The Blue Moon party finally arrived in front of the previous clock tower. They thought it would be a piece of cake to stop the tower and win. However, they noticed the wind getting stronger, and a barrage of wind attacks came after. August, Donata, and Percival managed to block the attack, but the rest of their party failed to do so and were disqualified from the test. Although Percival was confused, they didn't let their guard down, while August immediately concluded that Desir was responsible for the ambush. Although 2 participants have been disqualified, Desir wasn't satisfied as there were still 15 participants left. August led her team to the tower while defending themselves from Romantica's attacks. Romantica apologized for failing to take them down, but Desir expected nothing less from August. And although their location was already revealed, Desir just chose to ambush another party. Romantica was worried they would end up gathering their enemies around the tower, but Desir just smiled, as it was his intention all along. Romantica was confused, but Desir urged her to trust him, so she immediately started attacking the parties outside. And after taking down 2 more individuals, Desir started inversing the tower's magical power. At the same time, August's party entered the tower. They were surprised to see other parties inside, but Gabriel immediately accused them of being responsible for the sneak attacks. Donata tried to deny it, but Gabriel thought that only the Blue Moon party was capable of using so many high-level spells. August couldn't deny it. She knew that Gabriel and the others wouldn't believe that a beta class was behind the high-level spells. She realized that it was Desir's plan to pit their Blue Moon party against the other parties. However, unlike August, Gabriel was unaware of it, and he was already prepared to fight the Blue Moon party. Donata and Percival were also prepared to fight, but August stopped them, and she declared that she would take care of everyone. Gabriel was enraged by her words, and he immediately engulfed August with a powerful fire spell. Gabriel's ally rejoiced after seeing this. However, August appeared behind him completely unharmed, and after she blasted him away with a kick, she froze another person in place in no time. Because of August's strength, Gabriel urged the other parties to cooperate with him. Pram and Romantica noticed that the battle was about to end. However, Desir knew that their plan had failed as there were no announcements of the other participants' disqualification. At the same time, August, Donata, and Percival arrived. August figured out that Desir wanted the alpha classes to eliminate each other to easily reach the top 9. However, August held back and just froze all the remaining participants in place to avoid disqualifying them. Desir was a little disappointed that his plan failed, but August just called his plan pitiful, and she declared that Desir's party would have to face them to qualify as single rankers. Afterwards, she used her ice magic to separate Desir and herself from their party, while Percival and Donata made sure that Pram and Romantica couldn't rejoin Desir, and Donata declared that it would be the end for them. Desir lay beside the ice pillar after receiving August's attack. However, August knew it wasn't enough to take him down, and she asked Desir to get up while walking towards him. Once August was closed enough, Desir used Stone Break to try to immobilize her, but she reacted fast enough to defend herself. Afterwards, Desir started using his inversing spell, and he also made an explosion to hide himself, as he seemed to be buying some time for something. At the same time, Pram and Percival's battle had also started. At first, Percival seemed to have the advantage, and he even mocked Pram for giving up on the great sword. However, Pram just laughed at his arrogance, and when they resumed their battle, Pram effortlessly dodged Percival's attack while he easily landed multiple attacks on Percival. Percival realized that Pram was completely different from the last time they fought. He couldn't understand how Pram got so much stronger in such a short time, but Pram refused to explain anything to him. Percival was upset, and he started to wonder why Donata hadn't come to help. Donata easily blocked Romantica's attack, who didn't have much mana left and was completely at a disadvantage at close range. He mocked Romantica's weakness, and he declared that it would be her end. However, the pillar of ice behind Donata exploded because of Desir, and the fog hindered his vision. Donata stayed calm, as he thought that Romantica was in the same condition, but multiple spells suddenly came in his direction. Romantica used her wind magic to locate Donata, and she was planning to finish him off while the fog was still obstructing his vision. However, Donata started using the chemuvan that he tried to give to Romantica. It was actually an artifact that could produce a magical reaction, and he used it to get rid of the fog, and he immediately started his counterattack. Romantica barely dodged his sword while rolling around on the ground. Romantica realized that the artifact was the chemuvan that he tried to give her, while Donata mocked her, saying that it was too good for a commoner. Romantica refuted that, despite their commoner and alpha status, he was just a human and a student, just like her. Donata was infuriated by the comparison. He declared that nobles have been superior at everything since birth, from class to strength to talents. He also remembered his father's death at the hands of the commoners, and he told himself that there's no way that he and Romantica are the same. Romantica called him crazy, but Donator refuted that she wouldn't understand anything even if he explained, and he started attacking again. He used another artifact to surround Romantica with flames, and before she could counterattack, he blasted her away towards the wall with his magic. Pram was worried after seeing Romantica's condition, but she said that she barely managed to block Donata's attack. Donata told Percival that he would slaughter every commoner. At the same time, Romantica asked Pram to cover for her while she was restoring her mana, but Donata started attacking again, and he used his artifacts to crush Pram between huge boulders before slashing in Romantica's direction. However, Pram sliced through the boulders before slashing at Donata, although Pram managed to cut off Donata's Kemuvan, also leaving a wound on his face, but Donata still managed to throw a kick at Pram, preventing him from attacking further. Percival complained, saying that Pram was his prey. However, he couldn't do anything, as Donata was even more enraged and hell-bent on killing all the commoners. Romantica was worried about Pram, but he explained that he was fine because Donata's focus was on Romantica and he thought they could take advantage of it. However, Romantica thought that she couldn't win against Donata as she barely had any mana left and would only slow down Pram. She asked Pram to focus on Percival and leave Donata to her, but Pram saw through her thoughts and her plan to sacrifice herself, so he refused to do what she asked. He declared that all three of them would become single rankers and that no one would be left behind. Afterwards, he reminded Romantica how confident Desir was in their strength. Romantica smiled, but she asked Pram to stop smiling like Desir, although she was helpless when Pram refuted that he loved Desir's smile. Romantica apologized before thanking Pram, and her will to win was back. At the same time, August asks Desir if his pointless struggle is over. She thought there wasn't a goal similar to the entrance exam, so all Desir could do was fight her. Desir agreed, saying that they could fight to their heart's content. August attacked right away, as ice spikes started forming towards Desir. The spell failed to reach Desir, as he successfully inversed it. However, August had already started her next attack. She was running on the walls using a spell, as she charged towards Desir, but he inversed her spell again, leaving her in disbelief. Desir's smile left August annoyed. She used a spell called Winter Crash, quickly forming ice pillars that came crashing at his back. However, the ice disintegrated before it could reach Desir, as he successfully inversed the spell again. Afterwards, Desir's counterattack started right away. August managed to dodge the fire blast coming from Desir, but he had already prepared a pillar of fire at the spot where she was landing. Desir knew it wasn't the end, and he praised August for successfully protecting herself using her ice magic. However, she ignored his praise, as all her focus was on their battle. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy this video, and please subscribe so you won't miss the next part. And just comment down any anime you want to see in this channel.